The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, UNU Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Oh man, thanks for tuning in. This is Two Beards Talking with Daniel Sanders. Oh man, it's been an interesting night so far.
It's been partying here.
Oh man, so as always, we want to start out by giving a big shout out to the troops. Y'all are doing a great job. Keep up the good work and come home safe. Want to start out by saying that we were unfortunately not able to get our special guest on the show again this week. Technical difficulties and whatnot. So we instead will be discussing the double standards on racism in the media.
There's a lot.
There really is. You know, we've been seeing it a lot lately with, you know, Roseanne Barr making the comments that she made on Twitter, and then subsequently being killed off of her show. Literally killed off of her show.
Yeah, she literally overdosed on drugs, according to the show.
Yeah, like it. They basically made her a drug addict. She died of an opioid overdose on the show, and just a few days ago, Hillary Clinton was giving an interview, and the interviewer had made a comment about Cory Booker making a statement, and Hillary Clinton corrected her, saying that it was actually former Attorney General Eric Holder who made the statement, and then followed it up with, "I know, they all look alike."
Extremely racist.
And they had a laugh about it.
As am I. But I'm laughing because of how blatantly racist it was.
And yet, where was the backlash from it? Have you heard Black Lives Matter or anybody screaming in the media that, she's not technically working in the government right now, so...
I mean, she's technically unemployed, so, what are they going to do? Fire her?
Yeah, cancel her next book deal? I don't know.
Her speaking engagements? She doesn't do book deals. She does speaking engagements at $100,000 a pop. Thank you very much.
You know, Don Lemon.
Back to old Don.
You know, we talked a couple weeks ago about Don Lemon and the commentators that he had on his show. Kanye West, a token Negro of the White House, and
minstrel shows.
Yes, and you know, he's allowing these comments on his show, and then not long after that, he on another show on CNN talking about how we need to stop demonizing groups of people, but then immediately follows it up with white males are the biggest terror threat in the U.S. So we need to stop demonizing groups of people, but we're going to demonize white males.
Well, see, I kind of want him to elaborate on that. Like, tell me how I am a terror threat. Like, I want him to elaborate, because I guarantee you he shoves his foot directly into his mouth.
Well, I guarantee, because this was in the wake of the synagogue shooting that we talked about last week, so I'm guaranteeing that he's basing that on the fact that most, not all, but most of your mass shootings recently have been carried out by white males.
That's true. You know, I wish we knew the political affiliations of all those people, because
right,
that would be some interesting dynamics.
You know, but again, stop demonizing groups of people. Demonize white males by calling them the biggest terror threat in the country.
Yeah, but that's because it's okay now. You can't be racist against white people. Didn't you know that?
I mean, last time I checked, white is still considered a race. It is an option, either white or Caucasian.
It's not.
It is still an option on a job application.
Oh yeah, on the job. I was thinking, I didn't get to pick my race. I mean,
you can in this day and age.
You can pick your sex too. So. I want to be an Apache helicopter.
Apache helicopters. We should sell those because I'm a rapper. Wow, that's awful.
Yes, exactly like that. I want to be that. I want to be a fucking Apache.
The whole double standard on racism really pisses, and it's not just in the media; it's in everyday life. I was working for a company, and I put in for a job transfer to another store because I was working over an hour away.
Yeah, well, depending on traffic.
Yeah.
It could have been an hour and a half.
Yeah. When there was another store literally 5 minutes down the road from my apartment. So I put in a request for a job transfer, and the district manager told me that I could not go work in that store because they already had a white male general manager and a Hispanic male store employee. So they had to have a female store manager filled in for that position. And so I asked the district manager, I said, you do realize that you have just discriminated against me for being a white male?
And yet we are.
And his response to it was, well, it's not discriminating against you. We have to have diversity and equal opportunity in the workplace. Cool. Okay, but you're still discriminating against me for being a white male. You're not letting me get this position, and you're basing it on the fact that I am a white male.
That's the catch-22 on that, because equal opportunity is just what it is. You give everyone an equal chance at the job. You don't go, well, he's qualified, but we gotta meet the diversity quotient. No, whoever's the most qualified gets the job. That's how equal opportunity works.
But that's not how equal opportunity works.
But it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be, but that's not how it works.
I will never understand that. Like we have certain diversity needs that we must be, like scholarships to colleges. They have certain that, like, some of the colleges get more federal funding if they meet certain guidelines of diversity.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you will take a candidate that is less qualified just because it gets you more money because you're diversified. That doesn't make sense.
See, I'm looking at opening my own business.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this multiple times in the past, that I am a firm believer that a job application should not have any references or questions asking about an individual's race, age, or sexual orientation, or sex, anything like that.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
And it needs to be solely based on
merit.
Yeah, the qualifications of the individual. How qualified are they for the job?
Okay, let's take it a step further. You were in the Marine Corps,
right?
Did the best Marines have a race? No, because you can have a really motivated Marine that just so happens to be African American. You can have a really motivated Hispanic Marine. How good you do your job is not dependent upon what color your skin is.
Precisely. So, like we're saying, the double standard on racism. Paula Deen.
Oh, Paula Deen.
I'm sure everybody remembers what happened to Paula Deen back in 2013. Somebody brought up a discrimination suit against her, and there was talk that she was using racial slurs, telling racial jokes. She had talked about hosting a wedding for one of her family members in a, quote, true Southern plantation style with all black male waiters, stuff like that. And during the deposition for the lawsuit, she was asked, have you ever used the N-word? Now, you got to think, Paula Deen is, late 60s, early 70s?
Yeah, easily. I mean,
and she's Southern. She was alive during the 60s.
She was alive during the Civil Rights Movement.
Yes. So, obviously, times have progressed since then, tremendously. But she was alive during a time period where, I won't say it was right, but it was almost socially acceptable, for lack of a better term, if that makes sense.
I think it was also. I think it was shying away from even socially acceptable, but it was still a normality in society. Like it was less acceptable, but you kind of overlooked it because I mean that's what everybody did,
right?
But behind closed doors, you're like, man, that was kind of fucked up.
Yeah. The best example that I can give is when I was working as a car salesman. I had this one customer. He was regular, and he would come in, sit down at my desk, and talk to me because we were both veterans. He was a World War II veteran.
That's old school.
Yes. And there were numerous times he would tell me that he would never buy a Toyota or a Honda or Kia or anything like that. And then he would follow it up with reasons involving racial slurs against Asians. Which, for him, that was, in his mind, that was acceptable.
Well, we had a history teacher at Fife that used to use racial. Well, she didn't at the time, but previously she had used racial slurs against, Asian people because she didn't know it was a racial slur. She had just heard it so much, she thought that was just another name for them.
Right. So, Paula Deen grew up in a time period where using the word was more acceptable than it is today. And, some 30 some odd years later, she gets backlash from it because somebody didn't agree with it, and she wound up losing her cooking show. She was dropped by her book publisher. She wound up losing a lot of her contract deals with a bunch of stores and everything. So, all because she did what would have been during her time. And even in the context that she used it, she was asked, when do you recall using this word? And she said one particular time she recalled using it was when she was working as a bank teller and a black man came in and held a gun to her head, to which she said she was not really favoring that man for doing so. And then later on, she was telling her husband about it and said that she used the word then.
Yeah, which, I mean, you'd be surprised what you'll say in stressful situations.
Right. Megyn Kelly. This happened recently. Megyn Kelly had a 1-hour spot on the Today Show, and recently they were talking about political correctness and Halloween, and she talked about how when she was a child, it was okay to dress up in blackface or whiteface on Halloween as long as you were, emulating somebody, like Diana Ross, I think was the example that she used.
Yeah.
And she wound up, NBC fired her because of all the backlash from that.
Man, she got a huge FU from Fox News.
Yeah,
sorry about your luck. We support you. Ow.
Yeah.
That's painful.
That's the whole situation. It doesn't get any more clear cut than that on the double standard on racism in the media.
Well, let me explain it the best way I've ever heard this explained was by an actual stand-up comedian. You know Ralphie May.
Yeah.
Okay. The best way I've ever heard racism explained. He said, everyone is racist. It's the hate that's the problem. Because, as he put it, and a lot of you out there can attest to this, when you're in traffic and someone cuts you off, you don't get more vague about that individual. No, you get very fucking specific about who just cuts you off. So he said, everyone's a little bit racist. It's the hate. You got to stop the hate, because at the end of the day, words are just words. Hate causes problems.
Right. I'm literally at a loss for words at how blatant, with Don Lemon. I'm going to come right out and say it. Don Lemon is a fucking race baiter. Straight up.
Well, yeah, he is. So it was, what's his dick? Al Sharpton.
Yeah. And you'll never see anything happen. There'll never be any backlash against Don. Don Lemon could murder somebody on the air, and nothing would happen to him because he is a homosexual black man.
That's it. Well, he's a Democrat. They can get away with a lot of shit. Case in point, Hillary Clinton.
Right.
They can get away with shit I couldn't dream about.
All Don Lemon would have to do is mention the word lawsuit, and it's done and over with.
Which, if we keep bringing him up, he might mention that word.
He might. Let him.
Sue me, get in line.
Let him go right ahead. I hope word gets back to him. I would love to have a conversation with Don Lemon.
Oh, man. Didn't he? No, he didn't. I can't. There's certain people I can be okay with that are from the left. He's not one of them, because he wants to make it seem like racism is a problem. It's always been a problem. It's probably always going to be a problem. But he wants to make it seem like we're still out there, whipping people and lynching and calling them all kinds of derogatory things. It's not happening.
It's not.
If it's happening, I've never saw it.
I still remember when I first moved to Alabama, when I was, 6-7 years old, they were still holding Klan rallies on the courthouse steps on the second Sunday of the month.
Yeah. Not anymore. It's maybe once a year.
If that.
And
I haven't seen a...
I actually was curious one time just to see how big the crowd was. So I went down to Fort Payne when they were doing it. There was 20 people there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I say, racism's never going to die. As long as there are two people on this earth and one of them's different, they'll have a reason to hate each other.
Right.
But it's all in how you handle it.
I agree. Yes, it's... And here's the thing about it, I've been I've been accused of being a racist for using the phrase pot calling the kettle black.
So we can't use colloquialisms anymore?
No, apparently that is a racist term because,
Where'd that be a euphemism? Metaphor? One of them fucking words.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because apparently now pots and kettles come in all different shades and colors now.
Well, it's just like the whole Megyn Kelly thing with the whole blackface scenario. They push it too far. Have I ever... I love Michael Jordan.
Uh-huh.
He's one of my favorite basketball players of all time. Did I wear his jersey when I was younger? Yeah, I wore his jersey. Did I ever paint my face black? No, I don't like face makeup. But it's getting to the point where, my son, when he gets older, he's a huge baseball fan right now. What happens if he learns about Jackie Robinson and is like, oh my God, he is one of the greatest players of all time, which he is.
He is, yes.
And he puts on a Dodgers jersey with the number 42. Is that going to be racist then? I mean, where's the line? Where does it stop? Where do things stop being racist and start being okay again?
Well, in Hollywood, they still, even in modern times, will do blackface for movies. The movie Trading Places.
Yes.
Dan Aykroyd disguised himself as a Jamaican man.
Yeah.
Painted himself up in blackface, threw on a dreadlocks wig, and all this other stuff. Robert Downey Jr., a white American conservative playing a white Australian playing an American black man.
Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying,
What about this? The Wayans brothers playing two white women. I mean, you get upset about blackface, and you want to pretend to be upset about whiteface, because they'll pretend to be upset about it, but then you have movies doing it.
Yeah.
But it's such a bad thing.
Well, when the whole when the whole blackface thing first came up several years ago, I remember a story on the news about a female college student who was not only kicked out of her sorority, but kicked out of the entire school because pictures surfaced from Halloween where she had dressed up in blackface. So I remember a couple of days after that, I saw this video on Facebook of a black woman who was literally painting her entire body white and acting like a white person would do.
A stereotypical.
Yeah.
You have to go with stereotypes.
Yeah, using stereotypical things that a white woman would do. And
so she was drinking Starbucks.
Yeah.
Who was that racist against my own race?
Can you be racist against your own race?
Can you be racist against basic bitches? Ooh.
Is that race?
Maybe. In this day and age, fuck, probably.
But I remember, like I said, I saw this video of this woman doing this on Facebook, and I reported the video because blackface is offensive. So, in turn, whiteface should also be offensive. And Liberal Book responded back to me saying that they did not see how the video violated their standards against discrimination and racism and things of that nature.
You know what's funny about that? I had several friends that actually reported that video too, not because of whiteface. Nudity is how they reported it.
Yes,
she was completely nude.
Yeah.
And they still didn't take it down. Like, nudity clearly goes against community standards. And they were like, no, it's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Like, really? So, like, anybody can just be nude on Facebook and it's okay?
God, I hope not.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, that'd be, oh God, let's never open that can of worms.
The whole thing just, I'm literally pissed. I'm pissed more than anything at Don Lemon for labeling me a terrorist.
Well, you are terrifying.
Am I really terrifying?
No, as I say with a chuckle. You're about as terrifying as a teddy bear. How do you call an entire, okay, if you call white people terrorists, I'm going to say, well, prove it.
Well, let's look at it from another standpoint. What would have happened if, President Trump or Secretary Mattis came out, and I wouldn't put it past Secretary Mattis to say this because he doesn't give a fuck.
No. Like, his fuck meters are less than zero. It's like negative 200.
He stands at the entrance to Death Valley and says, "Behold the land in which my fucks are grown."
It is barren.
What would happen if one of those individuals came out and said that Muslims are the biggest terror threat to the U.S. or this caravan coming up through Mexico right now is the biggest terror threat to the U.S. What would happen then?
Well, if it was Donald Trump saying it, the left would get up in arms and get all pissy and blah, 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 and their collective heads would explode. If it was Mattis saying it, no one would say shit because knife hand of doom. You don't want to be on the receiving end of the knife hand of doom.
No, you don't.
Now, you were there, just not for Mattis. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't say shit to Mattis because he just like slap him in the head a couple times and tell him to go home and cry to their mommy.
You know, it's. I mean, really, you have to look at it from that standpoint. That is one thing that really pisses me off about the media is how biased the media has become.
What happened to just reporting the facts as the facts are? Like, if a crime happens and it just so happens to be a white guy, fine. You know, a white man did this. That's fine. But you don't have to add extra shit onto it. Like, if a Muslim happens to commit a crime, don't call it terrorism until you've proven they're part of a terrorist cell.
Right.
But once you prove that, then you can call it terrorism. Report the facts.
Exactly. You know, this is all Ron Burgundy's fault.
Fucking Ron Burgundy with his 24-hour news.
Why not just tell the people what they want to hear?
Oh, damn you, Ron. And now Will Ferrell's gonna... Oh, God, he's gonna... Oh, Jesus. We shall rue the day. Go on. Start ruining.
It's... Walter Cronkite... I miss the days of Walter... Well, no, Walter Cronkite was still doing some reporting, even in our day and age when we were kids.
Yeah.
Not much, but...
I don't even remember what this man looks like.
But... You know, Walter Cronkite, he reported the facts.
Well, you gotta look at the old school reporters like Walter Cronkite, like Barbara Walters. They reported what they knew.
Yes.
I remember back in the day when the news reports would come on and go, "Here's what we know."
Right.
They would lead with, "Here's what we know." Now they come on and they go, "Well, now we're speculating that." And I'm like, well, stop that.
Well, they don't even say that they're speculating anymore.
Like, everything's uncontrovertible fact.
Yeah.
If it was said by someone, somewhere, it's now incontrovertible fact. I learned that on Facebook. Abraham Lincoln said that. So, there you go.
Right before he sexually assaulted Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Wow. That took a turn.
Yeah, you haven't seen that one?
No, I've not seen that one. I'm glad I haven't seen that one.
Oh, that one came out during the whole Kavanaugh thing. That one, it was a picture of Ruth Bader. Yeah, that one. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
She's from Florida.
Yeah.
Ruth Gator Ginsburg.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg. On the picture, it says, Abraham Lincoln sexually assaulted me.
That is fucking horrible.
Oh.
I mean, she is fucking old, but I don't think
she really is
quite that old.
You know, and that's, you know, I'm going to jump off the whole double standard on racism thing. We're going to get on that. I'm getting tired of career politicians.
Okay. So, I have been preaching for years, since I became politically aware in 2000 something, when I was 12.
Right.
Now I was 14. But I've been saying for years, there should be term limits on fucking everyone.
Absolutely.
If the president can only serve 8, then the Supreme Court should only get 15. I give them a little bit more because they don't really have that much power per se. They're only supposed to rule on a matter whether it's constitutional or unconstitutional.
Well, they only rule on, 60 cases a year?
Well, they get in their docket, they get over thousands.
Oh, yeah.
A year. they will listen to arguments for about 200, but they'll only pass judgment on about 60 or 70 a year. But mainly in the Congress and Senate, we've got people in the Congress. We've got people in Congress right now that have been there for 40 years.
Yeah, well,
So these people have been in some form of governmental power since before you and I were born.
right. Well, look at oh shit, what was his name? He was one of the Kennedys. Was it Ted Kennedy?
Maybe.
Died like 7 or 8 years ago, something like that.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'm wanting to say it was Ted Kennedy. You know, I'm wanting to say he started in politics like in his 20s or 30s, and he died. He was 80, I think 80 something years old when he died, and he was still serving in office the day he died.
Let's see here. Ted Kennedy in office November 7th, 1962 to August 25th, 2009. We literally built a constitution to stop dictators from happening. When you get a group of people in power for 40 years, it starts to look a lot like a dictatorship.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. Obviously they still have the elections. These people are still, but the problem is that people as a majority are afraid of change for the most part.
See, I'm not. Here's the problem. You look at politics, and you got people going, well, they fucked up, so we'll just vote them out. Okay. Well, then the next people come in. Well, they fucked up worse, so we'll just vote them out. You don't see a problem with that? The two-party system there?
Yeah.
Like, you got a party of no ideas and a party of bad ideas, and everybody's getting fucked in the middle. I mean, I've got an idea. I can make it shittier. Like, there's an issue there. We don't suffer from lack of change. We suffer, well, we do. We suffer from lack of change from the norm. Everybody's so used to seeing a Democrat and a Republican. No one's ever thought, hey, maybe some of these other people that are independent or libertarian, God, not the Green Party, anybody but the Green Party, but maybe some of these other people might have some really good ideas.
I mean,
but we'll never know.
You won't, because you've got, look, how long has Maxine Waters, how long has she been in office?
Let's see here. I think she was Maxine Waters. I think she was voting on civil rights. Actually, I think she helped author the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. I mean, good Lord, she's been there for a while. Oh, good Lord, where is her stuff? Well, actually, not as long as you'd think. Well, I don't know. It just keeps going. Just keeps on going. She was in the California State Assembly from the 48th District from 76 to 1990.
Okay.
She then went into the U.S. House of Representatives for the 43rd District in 91. And she's been there since 91. So you're looking at the start of her political career was 76, and she's still going strong today in 2018.
Right. Now, I'm not saying that, you serve 4 years as a mayor and then you're done with politics completely. You can start at the bottom and work your way up to the federal level. Great. But once you reach the top, you're done.
The way I think it should be done is there should be term limits on the Senate and the House of Representatives.
Right.
And the way it should work is you get like a maximum of, let's say, which one serves longer? The Senate, they get 6 years, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think House gets 2 years before re-election, and then think Senate gets 6 years. But the way it should work is if the president gets 2 terms, you should get 2 terms.
Right.
And the only way that would offset is you should not have a drastic swing in the same year. So, for instance, you should not have a presidential election, a House of Representatives election, and a Senate election all in the same year.
Right.
They should offset it to where it's staggered, but you get term limits. So they force these people out because a lot of people, they stay for the money.
Yeah.
Because you cannot say there's not money in politics.
Yeah. And, that's the other thing about it, too. I'll say, the House and Senate, friggin', if you're not in session, you ain't drawing a damn government paycheck.
Well, even if they were, you think they're living off that government paycheck? No.
Fuck no. They're living off their damned endorsements and campaign funds.
Not even endorsements and campaign. Well, campaign funds, yes, but because of boosters.
Yeah.
Like, you got these companies that are buying government officials. And I can call it that because when you've got a company giving $1 million to a government official, you just bought that guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course they're going to vote your way. You just gave them $1 million. Shit, I'll vote Democrat if you give me $1 million. I don't want to, but I'll do it all the way to the bank.
The whole... Yeah, the former presidents.
They get paid for life. Actually, all of them get paid for life, even Senate and House.
Yeah.
They get paid for life. That shit should stop.
Absolutely.
What's our deficit? 17 trillion?
Yeah.
And climbing? 17 trillion and climbing, but we're paying people that haven't done a job for us. Let's see here. Bush hasn't done the job in 16 years? No, 8 years.
Yeah.
8 years. He hasn't done the job. No, he was out in 04.
No, he wasn't.
No, that's right. He was out in 08.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he hasn't done the job in 8 years. Carter's still alive, isn't he?
No, I think he just passed away, didn't he?
Back to Google, as it is my friend.
Does internet porn know you're cheating on it?
We have an open relationship, thank you very much.
I know if he hasn't, he's very close to it.
I heard he had cancer. I did hear that, but I don't know if he actually died. Let's see. It does not have a date of death. But at any rate, let's for instance, whether he is or isn't, he was last year.
Right.
And he was still getting paid.
Right.
And the thing about that is I'm pretty sure they get all the same raises. So, like, the president might not have been making $400,000 a year in 1970, but they're making it now.
Well, I mean, we'll use Barack Obama. He was making $400,000 a year as president.
Yeah.
And now, as former president, he's making $200,000 a year just for being a former president.
I mean, I get it. You want to give them something for their service because you can't say that being the president of America is not the hardest job in America.
Oh, absolutely.
They have to make decisions every day that I wouldn't even want to know about. It is a tough job. Well, that's fine, give them full government benefits, but don't give him $200,000. He just made $400,000 a year for years.
I'll tell you what to do. Give them the same damn benefits that they give all the veterans.
Well, some of y'all get hooked up. Most of you don't, but some of you do. My grandfather got a hookup.
Yeah.
I mean, he was making money, but he, first lieutenant, officer pay.
Right.
That goes a long way.
So, the whole thing in a nutshell, I'm gonna just come right out and say it. This country is broken.
It's been broken. I mean,
and we're not doing anything to make it better.
And we never will, because you vote for the left because the right pissed you off. You vote for the right because the left pissed you off. Well, here's my question to you. If I'm standing on your throat, does it matter if it's my left boot or my right boot?
I don't know. Which one's your strong leg?
I mean, I'm still standing on your fucking throat. I mean, I could see where it'd be an issue if, like, my left boot had dog shit on it, and then, like, my right boot was clean. Like, could you switch? Like, yeah, I'll switch. But, I mean, if someone's standing on my throat, I don't give a shit what boot it is. I want them off my throat.
Right.
And that's the problem, is people vote themselves into this. And what's worse is there's really no way out of it, because of the way our system's set up. Even if we had 10 parties, I guarantee you, if we had 10 parties right now, within a decade it'd be back down to 2. Because one party is going to never get voted in, inevitably.
Right.
Because they're the weaker party. So they're going to say, okay, we're going to throw our support to this guy. And it's just going to keep whittling down and whittling down and whittling down till you still have 2 parties left.
And, you know, they need away with parties altogether, vote on the individual who, again, is most qualified for the job.
Yeah, well, and that's the issue with, like, debates. You don't get to hear libertarian position in presidential debates. You don't get to hear the Green Party position, thank God, or the independent. You don't get to hear their positions in presidential debates, because the only people that make it on the debate stage are the Democrats and the Republicans. Why is that? Because they are the only ones that garner enough percentage of the vote to get to debate.
You know, call me crazy. Don't we still have like a socialist party?
Yeah, we still have a socialist party. We have a communist party.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, they're basically the same thing, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
one's Bernie Sanders and the other one's, I don't know.
Well, no, Bernie Sanders was a Democrat with socialist views.
No, he's a democratic socialist. That's what he called himself.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even
but
still,
you know, yeah, like you said, why don't we hear from the Socialist Party and the...
You don't hear from any of them. You only hear from the Democrats and the Republicans. And that's all you'll ever hear from, because we can't get enough votes for a third party to get them on the debate stage. And I guarantee you, if we had one other opinion, one time, and a presidential election, people will go, well, holy fuck, there's a whole other, like, road I can take? I didn't fucking know. I mean, like, literally, it's like going to, like, a freaking 4-way, but a tree fell down and straight ahead of you. Well, fuck, I guess I'm going to go left or right. Well, no, you can fucking still go straight. It's a little bit more difficult.
Oh, man. You know, like I said, you know, the country is broken, and we got to do something to fix it.
Vote Libertarian. Do it. Wish I hate a would. Vote Libertarian. I dare you. I triple dog dare you, actually. I'm taking it that far.
Did you just no balls our listener to vote Libertarian?
You've been no balls. Tomorrow, we are voting. We're all voting Libertarian. Send a fucking shockwave through the damn country. Everybody like, well, who are these people?
Yeah. Personally, I want to go back to the day when my political affiliations and who I vote for is my business and not yours.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the way it is now. Well,
it's not.
I say that. It's my business, but then people find out my business, and then they want to, like, shame me for, like, oh, you voted for that guy? Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of liked what he stood for. Oh, well, you're racist. Huh? Like, you hear yourself talk? Like, I've never heard verbal masturbation before, but that's what it sounds like.
It's... the whole thing makes my head hurt. It really does.
I mean, I'm going to go vote tomorrow. I'm not telling you who I'm voting for. That's private. I'll tell you anything else you want to know, but I won't tell you that. Very private.
Yeah. You know, what was the old the Dave Chappelle skit?
Oh, God.
You know, I'm trying to tell you about fucking my wife, and you're asking me all these personal questions.
Stop asking me who I'm voting for. Jesus. Yeah, and that's the way it should be. Like, but the problem is, the problem really is social media. Social media has ruined this country.
It has.
Because everybody's a political pundit now. You get on Facebook, there's like, I have 300 friends, and I guarantee you they're all political pundits.
Yeah, I can't get on my feed on Facebook, and I can't scroll through 5 things on my feed. The first 5 things on my feed, at least one of those things is going to have something to do with politics.
Oh, let's see here. I have a lot of weird friends, so I can go longer. But I'm gonna while we discuss this, I'm gonna scroll Facebook. Oh, there's a Bama one. I'm gonna scroll Facebook and see how far I get. Number 4, number 5. That's weird. That's just weird. Let's see. So far, I haven't hit one yet, and I'm at like 8 or 9. Like I said, I have a lot of weird friends. They post a lot of weird stuff.
I don't know. Let me.
Here, wait. Here's one. It's not really political. I guess it's geared towards the what do you call it? The military, like industrial complex. Because this dude's like weird like that. He thinks that our government's trying to take over the world. So I had to go 11 posts to get to a political one. But still, 11 posts in, I have over, I don't know how many friends I have. Honestly, I haven't looked at the number, but that's the problem. You hit a political post, and so you stop and you read it. But here's the issue: most people can't just scroll past it.
And not only that, they don't take the time to actually fact check what they're reading.
Well, even if you don't want to fact check, what I'm saying is, you know how many political posts I see a day? I probably see 100, 150 political posts a day. And some of them I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid. I don't comment and get all butthurt. I'm just like, no. Fuck it. I scroll past it. Because it doesn't affect me. If you want to believe that your freaking candidate is like shitting rainbows and pissing sprinkles, that's fine. Believe that. I don't have to agree with you, and me disagreeing with you is not me oppressing you.
Right.
We can disagree, and it's okay.
Yeah. One of the best examples that I can give was, I was in a bar, and I was talking with some of my friends. We were out on the back porch smoking, drinking our beers, and we were talking about guns. We were having a discussion about guns. And I had made the comment that, me being a gunsmith, I've got 2 ARs in my truck that I had just built. And some kid who wasn't even involved in the conversation had just walked out on the back and was smoking his little vape pen. And, he hears me mention that I've got 2 ARs in my truck. Well, he just jumps right into the conversation. Well, I don't know if I feel comfortable knowing that you've got 2 ARs up here. Okay, so if you're not comfortable, fucking leave.
I mean, it's that simple.
Well, I shouldn't have to leave. You're making me uncomfortable. No, you're making yourself uncomfortable because first and foremost, you jumped into a conversation that you weren't a part of to begin with. And second, having 2 rifles in my truck by no means is a threat to you in any way. I've not made any threatening statements or anything like that. So if you're uncomfortable with it, you can pack your fucking shit and leave.
I mean, the whole thing could have been avoided had he just not opened his fucking mouth.
Yeah, if he had just minded his own fucking business.
That's what I'm like. Just because you hear something. Okay. If you're at a bar and you overhear a guy saying, "I'm going to beat your fucking ass," and you turn around and he's talking to a woman, interject. You don't have to mind your business on that one.
Right.
If you're at a bar and you hear somebody using racial slurs towards the bartender, interject. That's fine. But if a dude's like, "Oh, I got, I voted for this guy," or "I got my gun in the car," talking to a group of his friends or a group of like-minded individuals, you don't need to interject there.
Yeah.
Your opinion's not needed.
All of these, you see all these videos of conservative student groups and everything on campuses holding rallies, passing out pamphlets, and there's always got to be at least one, if not several, come up and start calling them Nazis and,
Actually, most of the conservative stuff gets shut down. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've been watching, like, Steven Crowder stuff, for Ben Shapiro stuff, and they said, yeah, we were going to do a show here, but the freaking lefties on campus pitched a bitch fit, and we couldn't go. They were literally threatening acts of violence, and they shut down the show for fear that somebody might get hurt.
But the left is supposed to be the voice of tolerance, and
yeah, that's what I heard. Then the flip coin, you go and there's all these like left-leaning people speaking on campus, and they don't get shut down. They don't get threats of violence. I mean, I'm not saying they don't have a protest. Maybe the conservatives do protest it. But they're not in your face screaming and spitting on you and calling you a Nazi. They call Ben Shapiro a Nazi. He wears a fucking yarmulke everywhere he goes. Is he a self-hating Jew? Like, how does that work? How do you call a Jewish man a Nazi? How do you call Milo Yiannopoulos a Nazi? He's a gay British man. How does that work?
You got me there. I mean, I just we need to. I just for fun, just to see what would happen. I want to go out to your school and do a conservative rally.
Nothing would happen. This
Nothing.
was all down in Alabama. They'd be like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing?" I'm just here doing this. Oh, okay. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit.
You think we could try it at maybe like Auburn or something like that?
I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna work at a college around here, like in this state. I mean, maybe you give Virginia Tech or something. I know TCU, man, they'll lose their fucking shit.
Yeah, but I don't.
And that's in Texas.
I don't want to go to Texas or Virginia or anything like that. That requires too much travel. I want to.
You might could get it done in Tennessee, but I fucking doubt it. Like, you'd have to go to like North Tennessee, like damn near the next state up, Tennessee.
You think Knoxville would work? UT?
Maybe. I mean, they get a lot of northern transplants. I don't know. Like, well, I say that they also get a lot of people from the West. Like, it would just you'd have to go to a campus that's really left leaning, and surprisingly, TCU. Holy crap! I would never have thought that a Texas university could be so left leaning until I started watching some videos on YouTube, and I was like, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, isn't it Texas Christian?
Texas Christian University. Yeah, and people out there getting called Nazis, getting told they fucking suck. I fucking hate your guts. I'm gonna kill you. Stuff like that is being said at Texas Christian University.
We need to save up some money and make a trip out to TCU.
Shit, we'll just get kicked off the campus because we won't have the permits. Because I'm not gonna file for permits.
No,
I'm too lazy for that shit. I'll just show up and sit down and start screaming shit. Like, I guarantee you, like, if you want to find out if you are in a super liberal area, just sit down somewhere, be quiet for like 10 minutes, and then scream, "I fucking love Trump." If no one calls you a Nazi, you're good to go.
Even better than that, you don't have to say anything. Just get a MAGA hat.
Oh yeah, just wear one of those "Make America Great" hats or shirts or anything that's got "Make America Great" on it. And if there is a liberal within 50 miles, they'll know. Their fucking radar will ping.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, fuck, Nazi UAV.
I think we would get some reaction up in, say, Huntsville.
Maybe.
Huntsville or Birmingham.
May have to go. Well, if we went further south to like one of those like arts colleges, like further south, closer to like Montgomery, Mobile, we might get some reactions.
We gotta do this.
We also might get shot. Just bring your plate carrier and I'll stand behind you.
The more it gets shot, the
Yeah, but see, not to sound like a dick, but once the shots ring out, I'm not going to be behind you anymore. I'm going to be behind the nearest solid object that bullets can't go through.
You are a blue falcon from hell.
No, I'm not. I didn't say I wouldn't drag your bleeding body with me. I just said that I'm not staying on the X. Like, that's all I said. You inferred that I wouldn't drag your bleeding body with me.
Would you drag my bleeding body with you?
Depends on how much weight that vest has got. Like, how many are you going to have magazines on it, or is it just going to be the vest? And the
Fully loaded, that vest is probably about 55, 60 pounds.
So I got to move, honestly, what do you weigh, like 180, 190?
200.
Damn. Like, I can move you. I'm going to be a lot slower, but I can move you. I don't want to move you, but I'll do it. Can't have you getting shot. Then it'll just be one beard talking, and that's weird.
Oh man, yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah,
we need to find somewhere that we can try that.
I mean, we can just.
Let's do it in Atlanta.
Nope. I have not lost anything in Atlanta.
We should try. I think Atlanta would be a good place to try it.
I think it'd be a good place to get shot.
Well, I mean, we can return fire.
Georgia have reciprocity?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, we got to start wrapping this up. It's been this has been one of those piss me off kind of shows.
I had nothing to do with it.
So, we're going to leave it at that. Again, big shout out and thanks to all the troops out there for listening. Look us up on Facebook, Two Beards Talking. Like us, follow us, interact with us, and yeah. I mean, you got nothing.
I got nothing.
You got nothing. All right.
No.
Well, with that, we are going to leave it there. So I am Daniel Sanders,
I'm Matt Lassiter,
and this has been Two Beards Talking. Thanks for listening.